Yanks are coming, the Yanks are coming, the drums run tumming everywhere. So prepare.
Welcome, my friends, to my show today. I'm Jim Kruse, Army veteran. I served from 1967 to 1970. I deployed to Korea during the Vietnam crisis. This show is dedicated to presenting people who did not serve our country what it was like for us in the military. It's also a reminder to our fellow veterans that what they did for America, and also it's going to be there to have groups that help our veterans so that when they need help, they can go to them. There will not be a show in December, but we celebrated Veterans Day on November 11th because of men and women who served, fought, and died so we can attend our holidays and days of worship in peace. We all swore an oath when we went in that we would defend you, our country, and the Constitution, even if it meant we had to give up our lives to do it. That patriotism and fortitude started at the beginning of this country. Our history starts with the Continental Army. They were beaten in battle constantly. At times, they were so hungry they had to eat their belts and their shoes of leather. More times than ever, they marched barefoot through all kinds of weather with ragged or no clothes. Yes, they lost many battles, but they were never beaten. These are the shoes that our men and women who served, or should I say the ragged feet that our men and women who serve now step into today. Whenever our country needs us, we are there. We will always be there. Honor and respect. My guest today is a man who's made his life trying to help others, Wiza. Upon honorably being discharged, he received a bachelor's degree from DeVry Institute. He started his career helping vets in 2017 as a National Service Officer at AMVETS. He took the further opportunity to take a position as a County Veteran Service Officer in Will County, Illinois. In May 2023, he took a role as a Veteran Outreach Program Specialist with the Department of Veterans Affairs for the Veterans Health Administration at Orland Park Veterans Center. He said that the Veterans Center saved his life, so he is better able to discuss the service with the veterans that he serves. He's also on the board of directors for a nonprofit organization called Allen Force, which promotes healthy and successful lifestyle for veterans. He is married, has two daughters, and a son and a grandson, and he's also a Marine. Semper Fi. Greg, you're my first Marine on this show. Welcome. Why did you choose to go in the Marines?
Well, first off, it's an honor to be here. Leaving high school, I tried doing a junior college for 6 months. Just wasn't going well for me. It wasn't the path. I was undecided on what I wanted to do. I had a couple friends who left straight out of high school. A couple went to the Army, a couple went into the Marine Corps. I wanted a challenge, and plus Marines have the best uniforms, so that's why I went into the Marine Corps.
I understand a challenge. Where'd you go to boot camp? What was it like?
Marine Corps Recruit Depot, San Diego. So what I decided to do, as far as going to basic training, I went under what's called the buddy program. So I had someone that I went to high school with who joined me and went to the same platoon. While it was great having someone with you, it also hurt because anytime he failed at something, I would pay, and I'd be on the quarterdeck sweating it out with him. The hardest part probably was all the runs around the airport, just seeing all the flights taking off, wondering if this was the right decision for me, but it went well.
What was your MOS or your job in the Marine Corps?
So I had two MOSs. When I first went in, it was under logistics as an embarkation specialist. I did that for about a year when I was stationed in Okinawa, and then I went into a unit movement control coordinator, still with the same MOS as an embarkation specialist. When I left the service and went back in, I went under imagery intelligence. So I'd see all the satellite imagery feeds, radar, infrared, electro-optical, and did route studies, beach studies, HLZ studies, and so forth.
Beats carrying a rifle around.
Well, I still carry the rifle around.
You left the Corps after the first tour. Why did you leave, and then why did you re-enlist?
So after 4 years, I had 2 deployments under my belt. I'd gotten married. I had my stepdaughter, and my son was being born about a month before I was getting out. I wanted to be more of a family man and be around, not being deployed all the time. But I missed the camaraderie, I missed that connection, I missed the financial stability that the Marine Corps offered. And so I decided to go back in. And the 2 jobs available was infantry, being a grunt, or imagery intelligence. So I said, what's imagery intelligence? And I went into that field.
Tough decision, huh?
Right, yeah, absolutely.
You served a total of 13 years and went to Okinawa, 3 tours in Iraq, and 1 in Kuwait. Would you describe your thoughts about the deployment, what it was like, and what were it like being in those countries?
So, yes, my first duty station was in Okinawa, Japan. It was right after 9/11 in 2001. It was strange to me to go to Okinawa to my first unit, and it was as if 9/11 didn't even happen over there. That everyone was carrying on with their mission, still had their exercises, still had all of our drills. So that was a little bizarre to me. During my time in Okinawa, I participated in Cobra Gold 2002, went to Thailand, and just being around those countries, especially in Okinawa, it's a massive military base. There's so many Marine Corps bases, Air Force bases, and so forth. Some of the locals didn't really care for us being there. There was some bad history there with other service members in the past. So other than that, beautiful country, the beaches. Again, if you can get into the community, not everyone disliked us, and they were very welcoming. And same thing over in Thailand, except for it was extremely hot in Thailand, very warm there. But we had a great experience. And then during my deployments, the first time, I'll say it was always the hardest. It's the fear of the unknown. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. I deployed in January 2003, and we had so many displacements throughout Iraq, and we ended up at what I was told was an old camel racing stadium. However, this was also the very first time we had a building to lay in rather than just popping up a tent and sleeping out in the desert. But the building itself, you could notice as we were trying to clean up all the debris from the blasts that it was a school for children. And it kind of sunk in. It was kind of hard to see that, having kids of my own, and it was difficult. And then it's another deployment while I was in, same challenge again. Seeing the women and children, seeing the aftermath of what we had done, seeing the. Yes.
Didn't mean to interrupt you, but you and I had talked, and you had said something about you had some dealings with a young girl.
Yes. So we were out in town under Baghdad, and a young girl came up and kind of pulled on my blouse, my flak jacket, and said there was a bomb in her playground, and she wanted me to remove it. All I could do, I reported it back to the intelligence department. I let them know about it. I don't know what happened afterwards, but again, reflecting on my nieces, my kids, to imagine that that's what they're growing up and that's what they're living through right now. They can't even go to their own playground because of that.
We care about kids, I know that. And you had another deployment in Iraq and one more in Kuwait. What was that a little bit like?
So the first deployment was Iraq. Second deployment was just to Kuwait. Kuwait, by the time I got there for the second time, they already had a green bean coffee shop. They had a laundry service. They had a PX, a little store to get stuff. So it was almost like another duty station. And same thing later on when I deployed in 2007, 2008. Same ordeal. They were kind of built up, very nice. I had my 12-hour shifts on and off. We weren't doing so many displacements throughout Iraq, so it was just centered there. But we still had mortar attacks and other stuff coming in.
What's it like to be under a mortar attack?
Just got to go into cover. You can only, pray at that point and hope that you don't get hit, and not just yourself, but you're thinking about your unit, your brothers and sisters.
You know, people that have never served, when we talk about mortar attacks or being shelled, when you're here and you're safe, you sit there and you just say, oh yeah, but when you're out there and your life is on the line, it's a whole different story.
Yes, sir.
You left the Marines and got a degree, and you had a number of different jobs. You want to go through some of those and tell me what you did?
So, yes, I did get out finally. The imagery analyst field that I was in, the nearest position to work in that field was either in Dayton, Ohio, or over in St. Louis. So 6-hour drives away from my kids. I decided not to pursue that path, even though I was very fascinated by what we can do. I went to college, changed my major about 3 times, left in a degree that I'm not using right now, and I did not use when I left. Readjusting from the military into civilian life is very challenging. I didn't know how to adjust. I had a very hard time, my anxiety, my depression. I kind of bottled everything up inside. And my wife, she took me to the vet center, and they did save my life. And they got me in the field of being a veteran service officer because I love working with veterans. So once I did that for about 6 years, so I worked for AMVETS doing that job. I also worked for the Will County Veterans Assistance Commission as a veteran service officer, and I helped out many families, and it was very rewarding. I don't ever want to congratulate anyone for having a disability, but if I can get them some compensation, if I can get them that health care, if I can just help them out even a little bit to make their lives a little easier, then I hit my goal for the day.
I was able to go out to the vet center and met Greg there, and you do a lot for these people, for the vets, not these people, that's us. But you also have situations where you have people that have PTSD and you counsel them, right?
So I don't have a clinical background. My role is the outreach program specialist.
Right.
So as passionate as I'm about, as I mentioned earlier, what the Vet Center has done for me, I want to reach out to as many individuals as possible and share the information that the Vet Center offers, what we do for them. We do have counselors, licensed clinician social workers that do provide online counseling, individual, family, group. We have get-togethers. It's just really a place for veterans to come and have a community right there. We also do referrals. We help them out with getting enrolled in healthcare. I will help them out with my background with claims. I will go over their compensation and what's going on with them and what else maybe they could get from the state or from federal. So,
if say some of the veterans' families want to know more about PTSD, I think you have somewhere they can go and get information.
yeah, so there's a few areas. The VA offers a booklet. There's an online booklet, Understanding PTSD Family Booklet. That's through va.gov. There's also a VA mobile application called the PTSD Family Coach. But the first line is, I would call the Veterans Crisis Line. That's by dialing 988 and then pressing 1, and you'll get connected with a bunch of individuals that, again, and that's not only just for veterans, it's for family members, it's for friends of veterans that maybe they're seeing signs that maybe they didn't come back the same way as they left, and they see some struggles going on. They can call just to get a better understanding and knowing how to communicate with that individual.
That number will be was set up at the end of this program. I've got a list of the numbers for the Veterans Center and different suicide numbers and that, so that you will be able to see that number, because we say it right now and it's a little quick.
Yeah, 9881, then press 1.
If some, your group also helps financial and healthcare, as you said. what kind of fields will you look at? I mean, I know you look at possibly getting employment for people too, right?
So we do referral service. So again, our main key focus is for the counseling to again help out those that are suffering from mental health conditions due to service. And again, we do bereavement counseling as well for the family members. But we do referrals. So if someone has some financial issues, I would refer them to the Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs, and that's as well as getting them employment if they need assistance there. There's a lot of nonprofit organizations, such as the Veterans Assistance Commissions of each county has one, and they offer financial assistance and job opportunities and all these other resources, and there's tons of nonprofits. If someone were to come to the vet center and talk to myself or someone else, we can give them all those resources. And again, each individual is different and they have different needs, and so we focus on what we could better assist them with.
And the VA has vet centers all over, right?
They do, yes. I have a brochure. You have you have the national number that you'll be sharing at the end of this, and you just call that number, and they'll get you connected with the most local vet center in your area.
Great. Suicide's a major problem with veterans right now. Your group works with people who are thinking about hurting themselves, right?
So we won't turn anyone away, but we are limited on what we can do. We do not diagnose. We don't issue out medications. We will sit down with that individual. We will ensure we get them connected with someone that can help them at that level, but we won't leave them alone.
Well, I'm sure that's, to get somebody to talk to is probably some of the things that, some of the burdens that our vets are carrying are pretty deep.
They sure are. And veterans, if you can believe it, are very stubborn. And we don't like to admit to our faults or admit that we have something going on. A lot of veterans, they work so much while they're younger and keep their lives are so busy with their family members and everything else. But outside the family and work, I've learned that a lot of people just isolate. They stay home. They don't go out anywhere. If they go somewhere, it's for a purpose. They're getting in, getting out, and that's it. It's really retirement age is where people have a little more time to, again, reflect on things that maybe they've been trying to suppress and not think about. Emotions, everything going on in the world right now can trigger some type of memory that is really causes a lot of pain. And just that's why I want to share that the vet centers are here. Anyone contemplating or thinking about suicide, you're not alone. There are many individuals going through the same thing, but there are so many resources and you have so much support. So just don't give up.
My last question I always ask all the vets is, how do you feel about being a vet?
It's the best thing I could have done. I have no regrets. There was tons of laughter. I will always have that brother sisterhood, the Marine Corps. Anywhere you go, see a Marine, Semper Fi, and you always get that back, and we all look out for each other. Again, I'm very proud, the pride of belonging, the camaraderie, but there was a lot of heartache. There was, what it led to afterwards. I wasn't prepared for readjusting into the civilian sector. So, again, I don't regret it, but yeah, I have kind of mixed emotions about it, but I love being a vet.
We all understand that too. There's good and bad. I want to thank you for being on the show, and I thank you for the information that you've given us. Honor and respect, and Semper Fi.
Thank you, Jim. Semper Fi.
I always read one of the letters I got from my units that I send the care packages to. This one was from the 15th of January in 2017. Dear great supporter, thank you so much for the care packages sent to Camp Arafajan in Kuwait over the holidays and through the year. We received them all. They were a huge hit for the soldiers. Thank you. Thank you most importantly for the prayers for the deployed troops and letters of encouragement. You have brought many a smile and abundant joy to so many. Thank you for doing so much for us deployed. Words fail to express our gratitude. Know that you have made tremendous differences in so many lives here throughout our deployment. Please extend my soldiers and my gratitude to the entire team, their dedicated and selfless service to our deployed team. You folks back home are certainly the wind beneath our wings. We could not do what we do without knowing we have the support and prayers from back home. Thank you for boosting our morale, spirit, as the troops are away from their loved ones, especially over the holidays. Thank you again for honoring our troops with cards and words of encouragement. God bless you and yours, and the ministry of love shown, Captain Philo Shannon. I know from my experiences as I deployed to Korea over the holidays that the holidays are a time when servicemen and women deployed are thinking of home. Please remember them. Please, when you get a chance, sign a card or make a donation. As you can hear, what we do, what we send means something to them. We send a lot of cards from different schools the kids write. And one year I had an airman get cards sent to him, and he wrote back to every one of those kids, and at the bottom of that card he said, "Stay in school." Before I end, I'd like to tell you about an organization that helps vets who need a kidney, just like me. They're called Dove, and their website is https://dovetransplant.org. They link up people such as yourself who would like to donate a kidney to save a vet. I'm on that list, and I hope you check them out. I want to thank you for watching the show again. I hope the information and experiences will help you understand what it's like when we served. Many of us are still serving in many ways. I want to wish you a happy Thanksgiving, a great Hanukkah, and a Merry Christmas. View us again in January on PHTV4, when we will have another stimulating discussion, another vet, honor, and respect.